Dynasty won't be seen tonight, so we can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X Files. Welcome to The Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today's show is all about
Tapeheads.
Better Tapeheads than I am without you.
Okay. You still have
God, man.
stuck
As much
in your
as I
head.
love E.G. Daily, and I love her to death, I believe at some point I must have done something for her to put a curse on me. Because since we did that show, I have had that song so embedded in my skull. Like, I wake up singing it. I go to bed singing it.
Wow.
That
really sucks for you.
It's in there, man. I can't dig it out. I've been trying to dig it out. I heard that if you get an earworm like that, the best song to sing is Karma Chameleon. Because apparently that doesn't stick in your head, but it erases your earworm.
Overwrites everything.
But you know what song is immune to that? Better Off Dead. But this isn't about that.
No,
this is about
Tapeheads. Part 2 of our crazy Cusack month.
Oh, yeah. This is a
his
doozy.
crazy. It's a weird. I will say I had never seen this until we watched it, and it's a weird movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a risk and say most people haven't seen this movie.
Yeah.
I saw this movie, I believe, in college.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Saw it in Boston. And my friend Matt and I, in film school, we had a marketing class, and we used Tapeheads as our subject for marketing.
Nice.
And we did a whole new marketing
ironic.
aspect. Actually, our marketing plan for it was pretty damn good.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because we loved the movie, and we understood the movie, so we knew how to,
Yeah.
It was, I don't know if it was good. It was like a million years ago. It was probably crap. But I revolutionized the business.
Oh my God! I was 18 in college, and I
But-
made the most amazing movie ever.
The point of that is that's how much I love that movie. It's
Right.
because I thought that it deserved a lot more than it got.
There was a really interesting article on Den of Geek that I read about it, and how it kind of came at the end of like the cult like kind of movie.
Yeah.
Like once Repo Man happened, and they realized, oh hey, we can make these weird movies, and they'll actually make money. This was kind of a byproduct of that to a certain extent, but at this point in '88, it was already kind of dying out.
Well, it's also, to me, it's more of a evolution or an adult version of the Savage Steve Holland movies, because there's a lot of those elements in it.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, with
my
the
God.
animated, chicken walking around.
Oh yeah, definitely felt very Savage Steve
All
Holland.
the gags, a lot of the, you got Bobcat Goldthwait in there. You got,
He's not even technically on screen. He's on screen on screen.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, it has a lot of those elements. It's kind of like an edgier, it's like if Cusack decided, hey, I want to make a Repo Man film. I want to make a edgy,
Funny.
right. I know we're going to get to it, but he makes that choice, but he takes the things that he learned from Savage Steve
agreed.
and applies that to the movie, that it's kind of a bridge, because the character he plays is not a likable character.
No, it is not.
Luckily, he still has enough charm
to
make him.
And he's funny.
Yeah,
he's funny and he's
not
charming,
hateable.
and he's not. No.
But with that
just very
pedophile
slimy.
mustache and the slick back hair, and he doesn't have a lot of morals, but he is loyal to his pal, and he's loyal to the
Video Aces.
No, to what's the name of that band?
The Swanky Modes.
And he's loyal to the Swanky Modes.
Yeah, the Swanky Modes, which unfortunately is not a real band.
No, but as two of the greats.
Two fantastic.
Playing the
Anyway,
modes.
we'll get into that. We'll get all
I'm
into
just so
that.
excited.
I know. Take yourself back to 1988.
Yeah.
April 23rd, Whitney Houston's Where Do Broken Hearts Go tops the Billboard Hot 100 and became Houston's 7th consecutive #1 single, surpassing the record of 6 by the Beatles and the Bee Gees.
The answer is hell, by the way.
Hell?
That's where Broken Hearts go.
Broken Hearts Go to Hell.
They go straight to hell.
That was her sequel to Hell.
Yeah, straight to hell.
Straight to hell.
With
Yeah.
your broken heart.
It was not the 8th consecutive #1 single.
No, that one is a little dark.
July 2nd, Michael Jackson with his 5th single from Bad, Dirty Diana.
I don't remember how Dirty
man.
Diana goes. How does
Dirty
it go?
Diana. Oh, yeah.
Nice. Do that again. That was really
I can't
good.
do that
You're
again.
great.
It's
You're
a
a
one-time
resident
thing.
Michael Jacksonist.
Dirty Diana sets the record for most consecutive charting singles on the Billboard Hot 100 from the same album with 5. He is the first artist and the only male artist in history to achieve this.
Yeah, because he was amazing.
He was huge.
Yeah.
That Bad and Thriller sold like 1 billion albums.
I had
it was
them.
1 billion. Oh, I did too. Yeah. In
I
fact,
even had Off the Wall, baby.
Thriller was the first vinyl I ever owned.
Yeah,
I was
I
like
like
5.
Yeah,
Probably
like
shouldn't
the
have.
Monsters.
Like, yeah. Oh, I loved that. It
Yeah.
was so good. Are you kidding?
You got it because of the Monsters.
Monsters. September 24th, James Brown faces a variety of charges after leading police on an interstate chase after reportedly breaking into a seminar in an Augusta, Georgia building he owned an office in, waving a gun around and demanding to know who had used his restrooms.
I know. It's issues, drugs and alcohol, but just the thought of him, who's using my restrooms? Busting in, these guys like taking the cape off of him. No. Who's using my goddamn restrooms? Who blasted the bowl? Who blasted the bowl?
Mr. Brown, we paid to use the space.
Oh, these are my restrooms.
Earlier in the year, Brown had been arrested on drug and firearms-related charges. He was a character.
He had a row. He had a bit of a time.
He had some issues.
But, man, he was the hardest working man in show business. There is no lie. And he came out of that and had a career. And, he moved past his drug and alcohol issues. And then came back and rocked it with Rocky and with this. And, it was just like...
He definitely had issues, but he took care of it, and he still had a very long career.
Living in America.
Oh, yeah.
Jippa-jappa. Gabba-gabba-gabba-goo.
October 28th, Tapeheads is released in theaters.
Yes, the day of infamy.
The day of infamy. Right, in time for Halloween.
Yeah, not a better Halloween movie than Tapeheads. Although there is a Halloween scene in Tapeheads.
There is. Yes, that's true. Tapeheads would not have been possible without 3 key people. Bill Fishman, the writer and director, John Cusack, who was able to throw his star weight around just a little bit by this point, and Michael Nesmith of the Monkees.
Hey, we're the Monkees. People say we're monkeys.
He has had... Well, I'll get into it, but he has just had the weirdest, most amazing career.
Oh, yeah, and not to mention that, but didn't his mom, invent whiteout or something?
Oh, that actually, yeah, something like that. Yeah. So one of them. I don't know if it was Michael Nesmith.
I'm pretty sure it was Nesmith. Okay. Yeah, I think it was whiteout that she invented, and
why not?
Off to the races, baby.
Bill Fishman started his career as a music video director. By 1988, he directed music videos for
Suicidal Tendencies, George Clinton, The Ramones, Grandmaster Flash, Dokken, and The Monkey.
He was responsible for the Dream Warriors video from Dokken for Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors!
Which, for some reason, that video sticks in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well,
I don't really
popular.
like the song. I just remember the video. It was just like, oh, okay.
Dokken, baby.
And actually, the Monkees video he did in 1987 was actually really brilliant, featuring them trying to fit into modern society after being thawed out from ice blocks from 1967.
I do remember that one. That was very funny. That was when the Monkees had their little comeback.
Yeah.
There was a lot of nostalgia in the 80s for the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny how that goes. It's usually 20.
So now decades,
so now we're going to have nostalgia for the 2000s.
Great.
What's it going to be? Ooh.
Let's wear bad pants again.
Yeah. Is that what it was?
It was bad pants. There were bad pants.
I remember a lot from the 2000s.
There was a lot good.
A lot of teen dramas, I think, right?
Yeah.
That was like when...
That was around the time
One Tree
when
Hill and Party 5.
One Tree Hill was a little bit later than that. Around Party 5, Dawson's Creek, stuff like that.
And Buffy the Vampire
Teen
Slayer.
angst. A lot of teen angst.
Still goes on today, teen angst.
It does it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a teenager anymore. I don't know. Fishman wrote the script for Tapeheads with Peter McCarthy and Jim Hertzfeld.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember Jim Hertzfeld. McCarthy was a producer on Repo Man in 1984, the Alex Cox cult mega hit.
Great flick.
Which is also has its fingers in Tapeheads quite a bit from various people. Yeah, I mean, it's just all over this movie.
Repo Man was a fairly iconic film. I hate that word, but it is true because it really started the quirky, weird, independent.
It was a bellwether of a change in,
There wouldn't be Clerks, there wouldn't be Tarantino, there wouldn't be all these guys if it wasn't for Alex Cox.
Alex Cox and
Repo Man.
And technically Michael Nesmith.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yes.
But I'm just saying, it's because,
But I'm just, people
But
forget
Alec,
what a
it was-
seminal film that was.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
For sure. And I have a confession. I've literally never seen it.
Really?
Never seen Repo Man.
Well, I guarantee you we're going to have to do a show
Oh,
on
no.
it.
Yeah. Oh, we will, definitely. Because
It's,
you're right. It is a iconic movie in relation to history of film and what it meant for the late 80s and early 90s.
And a great performance by Emilio Estevez.
Yeah. Harry Dean Stanton. It's fantastic.
Harry Dean Stanton is just ridiculous. I love him so.
McCarthy was also a producer on Space Rage in 1985, an R-rated sci-fi western starring Richard Farnsworth, Michael Paré, and John Laughlin.
I wonder if I saw that.
I've definitely never seen it. It looks like it's really bad.
Nice.
But it looks really... It's Richard Farnsworth. Like, he's so interesting.
Space Rage.
Space Rage. And plus it's called Space Rage. Like, it's just weird. McCarthy was also producer on Sid and Nancy in 1986.
Another really great and important independent film.
Yes.
And launched the career of Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely the thing that made people notice him.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Good movie.
Yeah, great movie. Jim Hertzfeld graduated from UCLA in 1984 and got his career started on It's Gary Shandling Show in 1986.
It's Gary Shandling
Which
Show.
is a fantastic show.
Yeah, so great. Just completely deconstructed the sitcom. And
I started watching that way too young.
Yeah.
Like, I was way too young.
Not to be confused with the Larry Sanders Show.
Right.
There is nobody like Gary Shandling, and it's such a tragedy, his death.
Yeah.
And according to everyone, he was the sweetest, most humble, most giving guy that would help you at the drop of a hat.
Just sweetheart.
Do anything, just one of those guys that has a big heart and loves people and loves life. And those are the people that usually get taken too soon.
It's true. Jim Hertzfeld did 10 years of writing for sitcoms, including Dr. Doctor with Matt Frewer and Julius Carey.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad sitcom for you.
Yes, you do.
We forget Matt Frewer was he was what was that guy? The electronic guy. He was huge. He started off as like a Pepsi spokesman, and they made his own. Max Headroom. He was Max Headroom. Matt Frewer.
Oh, that's Matt Frewer. Okay, yeah. He's actually really great. Yeah, he's
awesome.
done a ton of stuff. Yeah,
I love him. He did a lot of Stephen King miniseries and stuff.
Yeah,
and he was in Eureka, which he was great playing an Australian.
He's a great actor. Yeah, he's really good.
So I don't know.
I didn't realize that was him. Yeah. He's one of those character actors. You're like, oh, that guy.
Gotta point it out, baby. I'm a Frewer head.
You're a Frewer head.
So maybe Dr. Doctor wasn't that bad.
I just don't think it lasted very long. Double Rush with Robert Pastorelli and David Arquette.
Yeah, what?
No idea. And Married with Children, where he would eventually get a producer credit.
He got on one.
Jim Hertzfeld.
He got on one.
Get on one?
That did well.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Which, actually, to be honest, I think by that point, it was near the last, 5 seasons, and so...
Hey, Pig!
It wasn't as good.
Hey, Pig! I will make a joke about not having sex, Pig! I'm gonna eat bonbons!
Okay.
Oh, boy.
So Jim Hertzfeld also wrote the screenplay for the 1998 Paul Walker dud, Meet the Deedles.
Meet the Deedles. That wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't that about a couple of skaters or something? Surfers.
Yeah, it was. Granted, I haven't seen it in a long time, and I hated it when I first saw it, so I'll give it a chance. Jim Hertzfeld's biggest success came from writing the 2000 film Meet the Parents and its 2004 sequel, Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers. Hey, I'm going to meet the parents.
Yeah. Which I loved Meet the Parents.
No, everybody did.
It was done so well. It was very fun. Michael Nesmith of the Monkees fame had been brought on to help produce Repo Man. And this is something we'll get into more detail when we actually do Repo Man, but they needed, essentially Repo Man needed money. He had founded the company Pacific Arts Corporation in 1974 to develop media projects. PAC, as it's called, was one of the first companies to start going solely to home video, tapping into the new market.
Yeah, it was smart because you forewent the expense of a theatrical release.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to make prints.
That's the big thing, is that people don't remember that back in the day, making just copies of your movie to get out to cost so much money.
Yeah. Just one print costs thousands of dollars. And if you had a wide release... that's hundreds of thousands of dollars.
3,000 screens means you're spending $3 million on prints.
Not that Repo Man would have had a 3,000 screen.
No,
but it had,
no.
I mean, it
played.
It
was a huge part of it, yeah.
But it was really smart especially at that time because it's just like now. People were looking for content on video.
Yeah.
Video stores were looking for stuff to put on the shelves.
Yeah.
And every video store had one of those, B movie straight to video sections.
Yeah, yeah.
With a lot of like Brian Bonsall and Rutger Hauer and Brian Ben.
Wow, that sounds like a great cast.
It was.
It sounds like it's like that's the movie. Oh, they're all still alive.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Brian Ben was good. He was in that show on HBO.
I know.
Dream On.
Yeah.
Dream On.
Yeah. So McCarthy gave Nesmith the script for Tapeheads, and all he needed was a star. So at this point, Cusack was a bona fide star with the release of The Sure Thing, which earned 4 times its budget in box office receipts. Cusack wanted to do something edgy like Repo Man, so he read the script for Tapeheads and told Nesmith that he was in, and that he was bringing along his buddy Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins.
Yeah. John Cusack playing the lead. He was critical in getting the film made while he's a fan of weird offbeat movies, like the more current being John Malkovich, which
it's 20 years
being
old.
more current is 20 years old. Well, he hasn't really done anything weird lately.
He has.
Oh,
He
what
has.
did he
That
do?
Utopia show.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty weird.
I haven't seen that.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. He plays like a tech guy. He's kind of the bad guy, sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's a remake of a British series.
Right.
Both series are great, but it was really fun to see him in
doing
something kind of mainstream.
Okay.
And being a weirdo, which he's very good at.
Right, he is. And although he is a weirdo, he's gone on record as saying
I still haven't been part of a great piece of art.
he's still searching for that thing, whatever
Easy.
it is.
You've made some really good movies.
He has. At this point, he still hadn't done anything too serious. 8 Men Out would come out just prior to Tapeheads, but most likely was shot the year before.
Well, that was more of an ensemble piece. It wasn't a
Yeah,
John
it
Cusack
wasn't
vehicle.
right. It wasn't focused on him for sure. But it was. I think his way of kind of showing to people that it's like, yeah, I can do drama. It's
He did that and doing Stand By Me, doing that cameo in Stand By Me, gave him a little bit more.
A little more drama cred.
Yeah.
It's possible that Tapeheads was a need for Cusack to shake off that weird drama that he did with 8 Men Out, working with John Sayles. He would be recognized for his dramatic talents when he started the 1990 film The Grifters.
I love that movie. Was there problems on 8 Men Out with him and John Sayles?
No, I just think that at this point, he had only mostly done comedies.
Right.
And I think it was one of those like, oh, okay, I did the thing. Because he was actively searching for Tapeheads. Like,
Right.
He didn't know it at the time.
Right.
But he was actively searching for something.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is that he knew with getting Bill Fishman and dealing with Michael Nesmith that he would have a lot more control.
Yeah. And look, this wasn't a hit.
No,
But
it was not at all.
It was a definite stepping stone in his career that was needed for him to move forward.
Yes.
And away from this. It was the bridge between the crazy comedies
Right.
and the more serious or more interesting comedies like being John Malkovich.
Yeah.
And, The
And The
Grifters,
Grifters,
which
yeah.
is an amazing film.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have. I mean, it's possible if he hadn't done Tapeheads, he'd be in The Grifters. But it was definitely showed a side of him that he hadn't shown on screen yet.
Yeah. The gross mustache, slick back style.
Tim Robbins is Josh Tager. Robbins' acting career began at Theater for the New City, where he spent his teenage years in their annual Summer Street Theater. After graduation from college in 1981, Robbins founded the Actors Gang, an experimental theater group in Los Angeles with actor friends from his college softball team and John Cusack.
Yeah, and they are still active today, and they have put on some of the greatest stage productions ever.
Ever.
But they get some great actors, and they have a lot of fun, and it's a bunch of people that have worked together for years, and it's really cool to see these big stars still part of a theater group,
Yeah, still wanting to do the weird experimental stuff.
get up
and,
on
like,
stage,
yeah.
take some risks, and
Yeah, for sure. In 1982, Robbins appeared as domestic terrorist Andrew Reinhardt in 3 episodes of the television program Saint Elsewhere.
Well, I'm a domestic terrorist, but I got appendicitis. I don't know if he had appendicitis. He said something was wrong. I mean, he was saying elsewhere, something was wrong.
Yes. In 1985, he guest starred on the 2nd episode of the television series Moonlighting, titled Gunfight at the So-So Corral.
Oh, my God. Such a great episode.
Yeah.
He's so good in it, too. Oh, I can't wait till we do the Moonlighting.
I know.
I want to watch that whole series again right now.
Okay.
So many good guest stars. So many good episodes.
In 1985, he appeared in The Sure Thing with Cusack. In 1986, he appeared in Top Gun and Howard the Duck.
Yeah, he was magician or Merlin in Top Gun.
Merlin in Top Gun.
He was the weenie at the end of the movie. That was Maverick's new wingman or guy
filled in for Goose.
Hey, what are we doing, Maverick? I don't think we should be shooting at those guys. Oh, maybe we should. Shut up, Merlin. I'm gonna do what I do. Pew 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 pew.
He appeared on The Love Boat as a young version of one of the characters in flashbacks about the Second World War. Yeah. And his breakthrough role was as pitcher Ebby Calvin Nuke-LaLoosh in the 1988 baseball film Bull Durham, which came out earlier that summer before Tapeheads was released.
So great. Such a great movie.
I find it really interesting that both Tim Robbins and John Cusack appeared in baseball movies just months before Tapeheads.
Baseball was big, baby.
Oh, Bull Durham, such a great movie.
Well, yeah, it is such a tour de force performance for and for Kevin Costner and for Susan Sarandon.
Oh, Susan Sarandon's so good in that movie.
She is the epitome of sexy in that movie.
So good.
She's so sexy. And that's where they ended up getting married, Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon were together for many, many years.
They were never married, but they were together for like 30 years.
Whatever.
They had kids together.
Yeah, and they're one of those like, I was going to say Dolly Parton. They're one of those like, Goldie Hawn and
Kurt
Russell. They never got married, but they've been
together.
together.
I mean, it's their thing, whatever.
I think it's great. I think marriage is dumb. I've never been married. I'm never going to get married. Even if I find somebody that I want to spend the rest of my life with, like I will be with them, but I'm not going to get married. I'm looking for the cat.
Yeah,
I can't marry the cat.
Don't marry the cat. That's weird.
I can't marry the cat. I don't think it's legal.
No, I don't think
maybe in California.
Oh. Robbins would be recognized for his dramatic talents for starring in the 1990 film Jacob's Ladder. I just find it interesting that it seems like Cusack and Robbins both had a very similar trajectory in their career.
Well, they were friends. They also came from the same cloth where they wanted to do different stuff.
Yeah.
They wanted to work with great people. Tim Robbins, I think, more so. He was just, he got to work with Altman a couple of times. Jacob's Ladder, it's a flawed film, but a cult classic. Everybody knows about Jacob's Ladder. But he also went in a direction, like he was kind of the Cassavetes, where he would do one for them. He'd end up doing some, big movie where he played like a bomber or something. What was that movie where he played?
Arlington Road, I think it was.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah. But he'd do stuff like that. Interesting parts.
Right.
But he would also do indie stuff, and he's had a very interesting career. And I think he avoided whatever John Cusack didn't to get John Cusack doing those B movies.
Well, Cusack got kind of, in the 90s, he got pigeonholed into the weird, like, kind of romantic comedy dramas.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then it was like the weird, it's a romantic comedy, but it has a strange caveat of, like, you're actually a ghost from space. And, like, and then he got stuck doing all these movies, and they're fine.
Yeah.
But they just weren't edgy, and they weren't.
I just don't know when the switch was with him. Like, when did he go into like the Nick Cage? And look, Nick Cage is one of the greatest actors ever in America. And John Cusack is a great actor as well. Yeah. And I don't disparage them or their talent. I will question some of their choices.
Yeah.
I know it's all for money. Maybe he ended up getting on the wrong side of the tax man or something. But it just seems like he shows up in a lot of stinks.
Yeah.
But Robbins doesn't. Like, he seems like...
But I think Robbins... See, I think the big thing is that... Because in 1982, he did Bob Roberts, which he wrote and directed.
Right.
And Cusack never went that way. Like, he never was like, hey, I'm going to do my own thing. I'll keep doing your thing, like Cassavetes, But I think Cusack just kind of like, whatever, just give me parts.
It seems weird to me that Cusack never did the writer-director...
I agreed, because I feel very much, especially doing research for Tapeheads, I feel very much like this was really his movie.
Yeah.
And he could have done that.
Yeah, I get maybe he just wasn't into it. Maybe he just like the acting, like the producing, or
and maybe that's what maybe because of Tapeheads he was like, you know what? I thought I wanted to do this. No, I don't.
Well, Well, it's also it didn't get the reception that he wanted.
That's true. It definitely did not.
But it didn't stop him from making quirky films. He still made weird films. It's just weird. It's just weird that there's this kind of moment that I don't know what it was that kind of knocked him off the A-list.
We still have 2 more weeks left, so we'll probably explore this
it's
question.
Sad because I love him so much. I agree. And I don't think he should have been knocked off the A-list, especially seeing him in recent stuff. Maybe he's coming back.
We'll talk about it more in next week when we talk about Hot Pursuit.
He's one of those guys that's always going to have a career. You know, he's not a Scott Baio. He's not a Dean Cain, angry old white guy. He's always going to have a career, and he's always going to be brought back because of the nostalgia. People love him.
Yeah, I mean, he has a name, and people know that name, and I'm just waiting for him. Maybe the Utopia thing is a good sign, but it's I want him to do more interesting stuff again.
Yeah, and I think it's TV. I think for these guys, it's TV where the really interesting stuff is.
Agreed.
It's even the Stallone. That new series he's got. Making me go to the Midwest or whatever. I'm a mobster. He has to go to
really?
Yeah, it's on.
I've never heard of
this.
Paramount
Plus or something. But it's like he gets out of jail all the time now, and he has to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I think it's called Tulsa. Fish out of water.
I understood fish out of water. That's all I understood.
But it's I think these guys, TV is a much better place for them because, not so much Sly, but these guys that are really good character actors, I think they can find something to hold on to.
Well, this is what Ben Stiller's doing. And granted, he's just going into directing mostly, writing, directing. But, he realized, he's like, hey, this is the future. This is where you can be an artist. Whereas, now movies, unfortunately, are becoming just, giant tent poles for giant action movies.
Sure.
And that's pretty much it. In Tapeheads, the song Repave America appears on the soundtrack, written by Tim Robbins and performed by Bob Roberts, who was Tim Robbins. This was 4 years before he did Bob Roberts, the 1992 movie, where he wrote and directed and starred.
Yeah, he played a politician and folk singer.
Yeah.
Was it a folk singer and politician?
Yeah, something to that effect. It's been a long time since
I've seen it. It's like a mockumentary.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was interesting. Yeah. Mary Crosby as Samantha Gregory. Crosby's the only daughter of singer and actor Bing Crosby from his second marriage to actress Catherine Grant. Denise Crosby of Star Trek Next Generation fame is her niece.
It's so weird. They're about the same age.
I know, it's super weird. Crosby is best known for playing Kristen Shepard from 1979 to 1981 on the primetime soap opera Dallas. When someone asks who shot JR, the answer is Mary Crosby.
You know what's funny is that was the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Who shot JR? And I bet you if you ask anybody who shot JR, nobody's going to be saying Mary Crosby.
Nobody can remember. Do
you remember who shot Mr. Burns?
Maggie.
Yeah. See, that's memorable.
Clu Gulager is Senator Norman Smart, or Mart, not Smart, Norman Mart.
Norman Mart.
He's still his wife's name. We'll get to Jennifer Walter, but his wife's name is my favorite joke in the whole movie. It's so bad. Gulager started his career in westerns, playing Billy the Kid, the 1960 TV show The Tall Man. He made appearances in The Killers in 1964 with Lee Marvin and Ronald Reagan in his only movie role as a villain. He was in Winning in 1969, a racing movie opposite Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward.
Nice.
Yeah. The Last Picture Show in 1971.
Oh, amazing movie.
Great movie. And he acted with John Wayne in McHugh in 1974.
McHugh's cool.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I think, if I'm thinking correctly, he's got a little machine gun. And it's
really?
a really cool,
but in 74, he was much older at this point, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was close.
He was going to be in his 70s at that point?
Yeah, it was right before the cancer.
Oh, okay.
That he got from doing that Genghis Khan movie, which basically killed half of Hollywood.
Right, that's right.
Shooting in the nuclear... Jesus Christ.
The sands of New Mexico.
Yeah, my God. Yeah. Killed the Duke.
Yeah, it did. I will need to see McHugh. That sounds really fascinating.
It's fun.
John Wayne with a minigun. You can't go wrong.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, buddy. I'm gonna take this gun out and I'm gonna shoot you with it.
Gulager directed the short film A Day with the Boys, which was nominated for the Palme d'Or for Best Short Film at the 1969 Cannes Film Festival. In the 1980s, he had a resurgence with a series of horror movies. The Initiation in 1984 with Daphne Zuniga and Vera Miles.
Daphne Zuniga from Spaceballs.
Yeah. And he also was in the zombie comedy The Return of the Living Dead in 1985.
Oh, baby. That is such a good... It's probably my favorite zombie movie.
I have not seen it in a long, long time.
It is so 80s, awesomely 80s.
I remember there being a lot of goop.
There's a lot of goop. There's a lot of punk rockers.
Oh, yeah.
And Clu Gulager and the kid that plays his sidekick, they're hilarious. The thing that I love about Clu, besides his name, which I think Clu Gulager is one of the coolest names ever, is he was so game. He was he's another one of those like Leslie Nielsen or Robert Stack, these serious actors from the 60s and 50s who just didn't give an F about, if you look at him in Tapeheads, what he's doing in that movie. Oh mommy. He's so hilarious.
So good. Oh, my God. He's so good in this movie.
So amazing. And just because he gets it and he doesn't give an F. He is so good.
He understood immediately what they were trying to do.
And the beauty of these actors with the gravitas that they had playing these goofy parts makes it even better.
Yeah. That's so good. So good. His son won the right to direct a feature in the third season of Project Greenlight.
Drew Gulager.
No, John. It's John, not Drew.
No,
Drew
his sons were Drew, Blue, and Flew.
Okay.
And his daughter, Sue.
He appeared in the movie Feast, which John Gulager directed on Project Greenlight. Gulager's last role was in Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood before passing from natural causes at the age of 92 on August 5th of 2022.
Good run.
That was just like a month ago, and I knew it happened, but I'd forgotten, and I was sad all over again.
Good run. 92
don't get me wrong, yes.
But it's still, because it just brings back memories. You might not have thought of him in a while.
Yeah.
But it just brings back such good memories, especially from watching this movie and watching the zombie movie.
He just elevates everything he's in. Like, he's
just got this really great way.
Takes it so seriously, yeah.
What are you doing? It's like his eyes. His eye contact. What do you know? I don't know.
Doug McClure is Sid Tager, the father of the Tim Robbins character. He is best known for his role as the cowboy Trumpus during the entire run from 1962 to 1971 of the series The Virginian.
Yeah, all about a virgin.
Okay.
From Virginia.
The character of Troy McClure on The Simpsons was modeled after Doug McClure and fellow actor Troy Donahue.
I'm Troy McClure. You might remember me from such classics as Monkeys on Parade or Done and Dunner.
Mike Reese, executive producer of The Simpsons, said that Doug McClure's daughter informed him that Doug was a big fan of The Simpsons. She said that while watching an episode, Doug saw the character Troy McClure on the show and said,
"Are they making fun of me?"
Doug said he thought the parody was funny, and his daughters would call him Troy McClure behind his back as a joke.
Hey, there's Troy McClure, that piece of ass. What'd you guys say? Nothing, Dad. Troy McClure, dummy.
Unfortunately, McClure died from lung cancer at the age of 59 in 1995.
Way too young. Way too damn young. And I knew Mike Reese of The Simpsons. That poor son of a bitch, man. When I first met him, I was just like, what about this episode? What about this? The guy was so exhausted by me.
Connie Stevens is June Tager, the mother. Stevens was raised in Brooklyn until the age of 12 when she was sent to live with family friends in rural Missouri after she witnessed someone being murdered.
Good Lord.
Yeah, at the age of 12.
No wonder she always looks so surprised.
Stevens was on many movies and TV shows while maintaining a singing career. Kooky Kooky Lend Me Your Comb went as high as number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1959.
So many couples. That's their first dance to their wedding.
Kooky Kooky Lend Me Your Comb. Yeah.
Kooky Kooky Lend Me Your Comb.
I know I've heard the song. I don't remember how it goes. But I know I've heard it.
I have no idea.
She fully devoted her career to acting in the 1980s and now writes and directs as well. She's currently 82 and still going strong.
Yeah, she's great. She's spunky and spry.
She's so good in this movie. Her and Doug McClure in this movie together are so fantastic.
The long-suffering parents of Tim Robbins. They never get a break, especially McClure.
Oh. God, he was such a dick to him at the beginning with the cake and like sticking his finger in the cake. He was like, geez, man.
Yeah, but he got his comeuppance.
Oh, he did.
Several times.
He did. Oh, he did. Katie Boyer as Belinda Mart.
She was the artist.
She was the artiste. She made an appearance in the 1986 movie Just One of the Guys. She's done a ton of TV work over the years. Katie appeared in 2 Spielberg movies as mothers. She was in The Lost World, Jurassic Park, and Minority Report. Jessica Walter playing Kmart.
Yeah.
Here we are. Belinda's mother and the suffering, although apparently very not, because she didn't realize anything was going on during the whole movie.
She's very clueless.
Clueless, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Walter has appeared in over 170 film, stage, and television productions. In film, she was best known for her role as a psychotic and obsessed fan of a local disc jockey in the 1971 Clint Eastwood film Play Misty for Me.
Have you seen that?
No.
Such a great movie. I think he directed it when it was first.
Yeah.
She's a creep.
Yeah,
Super creep.
Super good.
Play Misty for me. He's a DJ. The thing about that movie, there's like 20 minutes of that movie is him and an actress walking around the Monterey Jazz Festival.
Oh, really?
No dialogue. Basically, the jazz is playing. And they walk around.
Walk
for like
around?
20 minutes. So
Yeah.
we get to experience the Monterey Jazz Festival. It's like,
I never have, so that's
the
good to
movie's
know.
about 20 minutes short. What do you guys say we go to the Monterey Jazz Festival?
Why not? Why not? On television, Jessica Walter was most recently known for her role as Lucille Bluth on the sitcom Arrested Development.
Yeah.
And providing the voice of Mallory Archer on the FX animated series Archer. Unfortunately, she passed away in her sleep in 2021.
Oh, man, we lost so many people.
Yeah.
So many people from this movie this year.
Yeah. It's very
Or
sad.
last year, I guess.
Both. I mean, the last couple of years, it's been very sad. Sam Moore as Billy Diamond. Moore was a vocalist for the soul and R&B group Sam and Dave from 1961 to 1981.
Hold on. I'm coming.
Yeah, Sam and Dave was
Hold on.
so good.
Oh, yeah.
He is a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Grammy Hall of Fame for Soul Man, and the Vocal Group Hall of Fame.
He was in Soul Man with C. Thomas Howell, where he played the black guy trying to get into Harvard. One of the most offensive movies ever, man.
Yeah, it was not. It was definitely a misstep.
Yeah. Oh, my God. He couldn't get into Harvard as a white guy, so he pretends to be a black guy to use affirmative action to get into Harvard.
Don't go see that movie.
Well, I mean,
Everything you need to know about that movie, you just said.
Ray Don Chong's in it. She's good, but good Lord, man. That was a big swing and a miss.
Bad. Junior Walker is Lester Diamond, his brother. Junior Walker was a multi-instrumentalist, primarily saxophonist and vocalist, who recorded for Motown during the 1960s.
Every one of your favorite Motown records he's on.
Yeah.
He is on playing horns.
He was a long session musician. He performed as a session and live performing saxophonist with the band Foreigner during the 1980s.
It must have been weird for
I
him.
can't imagine. It was so strange.
Okay, Foreigner, I'm going to go to my
right.
hotel room while you guys do whatever you do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he passed from cancer at 64 in 1995.
Way too young.
Too young.
Cancer.
Yeah. Also, that means that if he was 64 in 1985, he was only in his late 50s in Tapeheads.
Yeah.
He seemed much older than that.
It's not the years, it's the mileage.
Right. Susan Tyrrell is Nikki Morton. She was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance as Oma in John Huston's Fat City in 1972.
Oh, yeah.
Fat City. I still have never seen Fat City.
It's good.
Yeah, I figured. It's John Huston. It's got to be good. In 1978, Tyrrell received the Saturn Award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance in Andy Warhol's Bad.
She was a perfect fit for Warhol.
She was a very strange character. She also played a role and sang a song in the 1980 weirdo cult movie Forbidden Zone.
Forbidden Zone.
Yeah, that's a very weird movie. Tyrrell suffered from essential thrombocytis, a disease of the blood. In early 2000, her disease necessitated bilateral below-knee amputations.
Oh, my God.
That year, Johnny Depp hosted a benefit at the Viper Room to help defray Tyrrell's medical bills. Megan Mullally, Jack Black, and Chloe Webb attended.
Chloe Webb, who was in Sid and Nancy.
Yeah, there you go.
As Nancy.
There you go. In January 2012, Tyrrell wrote in her journal,
I demand my death be joyful and I never return again.
She died on June 16th, 2012.
Damn.
Yeah, the whole below the knee amputation thing, it's just awful.
Yeah. Yeah, look, yes. There's no, yes. A poor person, and what a great talent, too.
She was so talented. Her New York Times obituary described her as...
a whiskey-voiced character actress with talent for playing the downtrodden, outre, and grotesque.
I don't know her work terribly well, and to be honest, after seeing her in Tapeheads, I am going to find some other things she's in.
She's done some pretty... she's an interesting-looking woman.
Yeah.
She has she's attractive in a very sinewy way. I don't know how to explain it, but she works well for the bizarre.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's able to get her face
in
a way that is just really...
very interesting
Yeah,
face.
like grotesque. But she's also, she was so good in this. My favorite line of hers in this movie she bumps in... She plays the mistress of Clu Gulager. She has a tape of him...
being naughty.
Yeah, like pretending he's Cinderella or something while he gets spanked. Yeah. And she runs into one of the tape heads and slips the tape into his bag. And she's like, I gotta run. My boyfriend's gonna kill me. And he's literally gonna kill her.
Yeah, it wasn't the way she delivered it. The way she delivered was like, no, it's not a big deal. But yeah.
Oh, God, she was so great.
She was great in this. Lee Ehrenberg is Norton. Ehrenberg attended Santa Monica High School with future Brat Packer actors Sean Penn, Robert Downey Jr., and Emilio Estevez, and co-wrote a play with Estevez, which was directed by Sean Penn while they're at Santa Monica High School. Ehrenberg also guest starred on Star Trek The Next Generation, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Voyager, and Star Trek Enterprise, playing
aliens.
4 different characters. Yeah. Ehrenberg also played the recurring role of Bookie Mike Moffat in 2 episodes of Seinfeld.
Yeah, the guy was a little spark plug. He was a little guy.
It's funny because I didn't realize... Because I saw him on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. But when he was next to John Cusack and Tim Robbins, he looked like a midget.
Yeah, he's a little person.
Sorry.
But
sorry.
But he just always looks like he's about to explode.
Yeah,
especially on Seinfeld.
Oh
he just had that whole,
Seinfeld.
you broke my thumbs.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so he was in the Susie where his thumbs were broken while trying to repair Jerry's car trunk. And then he had that parking dispute with George Costanza.
Yeah, he was great, man.
He's fantastic. He's a great actor. He had a long recurring role on ABC's Once Upon a Time, and most recently can be seen in American Gods.
He's one of those guys that knows who he is and knows what he can do and does it well, and has had a career because of it. If you're a character actor that knows where you fit, you're never going to stop working, and he's one of those guys.
Yeah, totally. Don Cornelius is Mo Fuzz, the executive. Yeah, Cornelius is best known as the creator, producer, and host of the TV music program Soul Train.
As a small child, that's when I knew cartoons were over.
Right.
Soul Train came on, and it was time to go outside. As I got older, I liked to watch Soul Train because of the dancing and the music and such.
Yeah,
but as a little kid, Mo Fuzz delivers the most consequential bit of advice or the bit of truth about the entertainment business in any capacity. He introduces us to the concept of spec.
I'm going to need you to do this for me.
Which, if you've ever done anything in the entertainment world, you'll know that spec is a real thing. Do this one for free. Do this one for free. We got to see how you're going to do, and then we'll pay you.
You'll get paid on the next one.
We got a ton of other projects coming up we're going to pay you for, but you got to do this one for free. And then all of us morons are like, okay, we'll do it for free. And then you do. No other business gets so much for free. No, baby. Spec. Oh, spec.
Oh, Don Cornelius. Spec. Mo Fuzz bringing in the spec.
I'm going to need you to do this one on spec, too. This is part of your trilogy.
So at around 4 a.m. on February 1st, 2012, police were called to Cornelius' home in Los Angeles after reports of a shooting. He was found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head and was taken to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead at the age of 75.
Yeah, that poor guy was hurting bad.
An autopsy found that Cornelius had been suffering from seizures during the last 15 years of his life, a complication of a 21-hour brain operation he underwent in 1982 to correct a congenital deformity in his cerebral arteries. He admitted that he was never quite the same after that surgery, and it was a factor in his decision to retire from hosting Soul Train in 1983. Cornelius' health took a further sharp decline in the last 6 months of his life. On the night of his suicide, Cornelius told his son in a phone call,
I don't know how much longer I can take this.
It's just sad.
Super sad. There's a lot of sadness of the cast in this movie.
I know. Just sad.
He was a pioneer.
So good in this movie. He was so good in this movie.
And a guy that launched so many music careers.
Yeah, he was huge. I mean, Soul Train was huge.
And Soul Train was one of the first, black-hosted black programs that, centered on...
He produced it. He created it. Like, it was...
He cast it.
Yeah.
The Soul Train dancers, man.
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah, it was huge.
Soul Train. It was great.
King Cotton played Roscoe from the Roscoe's commercials.
Oh, man. I love him so much.
He was... King Cotton is a Texas blues singer born in 1945 in Navasota, Texas, in the United States. He was the lead vocalist and founding member of the blues rock band Navasota in 1969. His Roscoe's rap has gained internet cult status in the last decade.
Roscoe's a name. He's just committed so well. He was so good. He's so good in that. And he's
so 100% committed.
Well, they give him an entire music video.
Yeah.
Start to finish.
Yeah.
Good 3-4 minutes.
Yeah. 3.5 minute music video.
Which is just astounding and amazing. And then they bring him back and he raps the entire credits.
To rap about the credits.
While
the movie's ending.
So great.
So ridiculously awesome.
Oh, man. And what a great advertisement for Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Yeah.
Which is in Los Angeles and quite delicious.
Very good. I've not been there in a long time.
It's been a while for me as well.
It's very tasty.
But it's always a pleasure.
Lyle Alzado was cast as Thor Alexiev, John Cusack's father. In the movie, he was a former pro football star that became a celebrity. His biggest role came in Ernest Goes to Camp.
He's one of those guys that would just show up on stuff. Great personality.
Yeah, he was on late night shows, and then he would just show up as himself on different shows. And
funny, personable, interesting cat.
Had a career of just being himself.
And let's go down the horrible road. What happened to him, Adam?
Eventually admitted to steroid use after trying to make a comeback in the NFL at the age of 42 in 1991. He died 1 year later at 43 from brain cancer.
Good God.
Some people associate the brain cancer as being a byproduct of the steroid use, but the connection was debunked about 20 years later through further scientific study.
Yeah, look, steroids doesn't cause cancer. There's a lot of other complications that it causes to your body. But
he was 43.
It was just a coincidence that he had that.
Crazy. Xander Berkeley as Ricky Fell. Xander Berkeley had a part in Sid and Nancy. He's another one of those character actors. You see him and you're like, oh, that guy.
Oh, see, he's been on everything. He's been on The Walking. Xander Berkeley is one of the best character actors ever.
Yeah.
There is a great documentary called I Know Who This Is, or
like Who's That Guy?
Yeah,
or something like
that's about character actors. He's one of the main focus. He's one of the actors that's the main focus of that. And he also did this web series where he played the devil that was just took off a few years ago, and it showed just how amazing of an actor.
Oh, really?
This guy
Interesting.
is.
Okay.
I've always loved him. I've always thought he was extremely underrated.
Yeah.
And it's just really great to see him still. It's a testament to how great he is. The guy's been working for 40 years.
Yeah.
And he's going to keep working until he dies because he's got that talent.
He's just so good.
And he's not English.
No.
It's a fake accent, Adam.
Because of Nesmith's connection to the music industry, a ton of musicians vied to get parts in the movie. They have a series of cameos like Weird Al, who's just walking out of a building.
It's the greatest cameo ever. Because he's like, Weird Al! Weird Al!
He literally runs away from him.
He walks in the building and he's like, Weird Al! And then he slams the door
That's
into
right.
Cusack, knocks him over, and then huffs away without a word. I love Weird Al so much.
Weird Al is the nicest man in Hollywood.
That's why I love that he always plays an a-hole.
So funny that every time he plays himself, he's some angry dude.
I'm so excited for the...
Weird.
Yes. I don't know if I'll ever be able to see it because it's on something called Roku.
It's the Roku channel. It'll be free. You'll be able to see it.
Yeah, with commercials. It's going to be commercials.
It may or may not have commercials.
Better not. That was the worst thing. Okay, I'm just going to say this. If you guys are looking for Tapeheads, it's a little difficult to find. We found it on Epic.
Plex.
On Plex.
Which is a free service.
Yeah.
I think it's also on Vudu or something.
Yeah.
But
the problem with Plex is it starts off okay with the commercials, about 30 seconds here and there. I don't know who decides where the cuts are because they are not...
Some of the worst cuts ever.
It's like, oh my God. And then some
commercial.
And then, hey, Viagra. And then But then when they know they got you, when they get you to like the last half hour of the movie, then they start burning out these like 4-minute commercial breaks every 10 minutes.
Every 5 minutes.
Yeah, because they're like, you're not going anywhere.
I was like, this commercial break is 3 minutes long. It has to be done.
Yeah.
Like there has to be no more. No. The one after was 3.5 minutes long.
Tapeheads is about an 80 to 90 minute movie. If you're going to watch it on Plex, it's about 3.5 hours.
Xander Schloss was the heavy metal fan guy. He had the fake hair, if you remember him.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he was funny. He was the bass player from the Circle Jerks.
I saw them in concert.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I used to see a lot of punk.
Oh, yeah. Back in the day. He played with the Weirdos. He had many collaborations with Joe Strummer. And he appeared in a bunch of movies and contributed a bunch of feature films. His first appearance was as Kevin the Nerd in Repo Man.
So great, so great.
Martha C. Quinn was an RVTV VJ. She was one of the very first VJs on MTV.
Yeah.
Ted Nugent is the rock star who throws John Cusack out. He's tall and skinny and now a super weirdo.
Yeah, he's very right-wing. He likes hunting with bows, and he hates lips.
He's very right-wing, and he tells you all the time.
Yeah, he's exhausting.
Jello Biafra is the FBI man number 1.
Which one is he?
He was the dude. He's a really
glasses?
Yeah.
That guy is amazing.
He is such a good actor,
Yeah.
and he's a very handsome dude.
Yeah, and
He makes a joke to the bartender about needing to find the lead singer from the Dead Kennedys, and it's literally him.
Yeah, it's so great, and he's such a goon. He's got such a great goony dance.
He does, and he comes out and he sings that song in the middle of at the end of the Menudo concert. Yeah, he's just a couple bars, and they grab him, pull him out. It's so
those
funny.
two guys are the Secret Service guys.
Yeah,
are
the hitmen.
The hitmen. Or some of he is just so good. He's like a Jim Carrey before Jim Carrey. He's got that physicality that is just so fun and goony.
Somebody else that just fully committed and said, all right, I know what this movie's about. Yeah. We're doing it.
Also, I've seen the Dead Kennedys, man. It is crazy that he's playing an FBI agent. It's just like...
it's like, okay. Yeah, he was so good. Jello Biafra's fascinating.
And let's just acknowledge... Jello Biafra is one of the greatest names ever. Ever.
It is.
I'm going to say probably made up. I'm going to say probably not his
It's
Christian
not his real name. No. When we do our Jello Biafra episode, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Courtney Love has an uncredited cameo as Norman Spanker.
She was like 15.
She was young in this.
She was really young.
There's only one shot where you can actually see her face. Stiv Bators as Dick Slammer, the guitarist from the band that gets killed. He is best remembered for his bands Dead Boys and the Lords of the New Church.
Oh, yeah.
In 1990, he was hit by a car in Paris and didn't see a doctor for a protracted time because he thought he was fine.
Okay, here we go. What's going to happen, Adam?
That night, he died from a traumatic brain injury in his sleep.
Okay, why don't we just call this the horrific death show? Everybody had a horrific death.
I don't mean to include these, but they're fascinating.
It doesn't make... I mean, we have leg amputations and brain aneurysms and brain...
A lot of cancer.
God, I'm starting to think they filmed this movie where they filmed Genghis Khan.
I mean, it's very... Maybe they opened up a Egyptian tomb or something when they got cursed.
Maybe they made E.G. Daily mad.
Bobcat Goldthwait, at the time Bob Goldthwait, and he was credited as Jack Cheese, but he plays Don Druzel, the self-help guy that appears a couple times.
He was also, we'll be talking about him because he was also in One Crazy Summer.
Yeah, we'll talk about him more. That's why I don't have much about him.
He and Cusack were friends. Saw him in concert. He closed out his show by doing the absolute best Bono impersonation I have ever heard in my entire life. He sang With or Without You, and it was like Bono was there. And it's like, really, Bobcat?
Yeah.
And then years later, I was at the Cine Vegas Film Festival, and I had a couple of movies in that. And I was in the director's lounge, and he was there too with some films. Mm-hmm. Shook his hand, talked to him for a while. The softest hands I have ever touched, just like so well manicured. It's such a soft, beautiful hand. Such a great guy too. Super nice. And
I'm sure he is. But all you can think about is his soft hands.
It left an impression on me how soft his hands were. It was I just wanted to hold on to his soft, beautiful hands forever. But again, such a great guy.
Oh no, totally.
And not pretentious at all. Talk to us about his movies, our movies.
Oh, yeah.
You know, was a really, really good dude.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people only see the Bobcat character and not him. Yeah.
From the
he's
Police
not
Academy
like that.
movies.
Yeah.
But it must have been hard for him playing that character for so long.
Yeah, I can't
And it's
imagine
exhausting.
that. Yeah.
It was like
one of the
burst
greatest
blood vessel.
funniest things I've ever heard was Bobcat Goldthwait did a Christmas story for Kevin and Bean.
Yes!
One of the Christmas albums.
Yes!
If you have a chance to find it, it's only like 3 minutes long,
Yeah.
but it's him reading a story to kids, and it is one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. Bobcat Goldthwait and Robin Williams appeared on the same bill together, but not as a comedy team, using the names Jack Cheese and Marty Fromage. Goldthwait used the name Jack Cheese when he appeared in Tapeheads. When Williams made a cameo as Mime Jerry in Goldthwait's Shakes the Clown, he was billed as Marty Fromage.
Oh, Shakes the Clown. Man, and Bobcat Goldthwait is such a great director.
Oh, yeah.
Father of the Year. Oh, my God. One of my favorite Robin Williams performances ever.
Yes. Yeah, they were very close. Goldthwait and Williams were very close.
Such an effed up filmmaker.
Yeah.
But in such a great way. Like, there's a lot of effed up filmmakers that are just effed up for being effed up, and it's really not that entertaining. He hits that sweet spot of effed up and entertaining like nobody else.
Yeah.
Like, he's a twisted comedy David Lynch or something. I just love him.
He's fantastic, yeah. David Anthony Higgins and Steve Higgins as visual aplomb.
Oh, the Higgins Boys and Gruber.
The Higgins Boys and Grubers. Higgins, along with his brother Steve and Dave Gruber Allen, performed in a comedy troupe Don't Quit Your Day Job. Eventually, they toured in other states, including California, and were so well received that they were offered their own show, The Higgins Boys and Gruber, on HBO's The Comedy Channel in 1989.
I saw them live. They were really funny. Oh, yeah, they were extremely funny. One of the Higgins boys ended up having a recurring role on Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
Playing like a teacher or something.
It was
with Malcolm's
David.
mom.
Yeah.
Hilarious
As a teacher, that's right. Yeah.
But he ended up like being a babysitter. But he had this.
Yeah, he was around a lot.
He was obsessed with Malcolm's mother and loved her, and it was like so. It was just so great. He is such a good creep.
Yeah, the Higgins boys are from Des Moines, where I grew up. They went to
Land of the Creeps.
They went to a high school friends of mine went to, and they went to the University of Iowa, where I went, until they dropped out to pursue a career in the entertainment industry.
Good choice.
Yeah, even more cameo appearances. Michael Nesmith is the water guy.
The monkeys.
He's only in the one scene.
It's great.
It's a great scene with Cusack just kind of making fun of him, and
because Cusack's like, "Hey, you got to do the back of D. Hey, take my card."
Yeah.
And he doesn't realize that he's just the water delivery guy.
Right.
Womp, womp.
Peter McCarthy, the writer, is the fervent Menudo fan, which gave me the biggest laugh in the movie. It's just that he wanted Menudo to play so bad.
No!
Koti Mundi as a music executive. He is a musician, percussionist, notably playing the vibraphone, and a member of Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah band, then of Kid Creole and the Coconuts.
Love Kid Creole. So he didn't have a horrific death?
No, he's still alive.
Okay.
I think he's still alive. Don't quote me on
like
that.
have bees fly into his eyes, eat his eyeballs out.
No.
Chew his brain.
He in the movie. He was one of the guys that they were trying to hire.
Yeah.
And yeah. But no bees ate his brains.
Okay, I'm just saying it's been a rough day so far.
Dougie Fresh as a record executive. He was a pioneer in beatboxing. I was waiting for your beatboxing.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, in the early 1980s, he formed the Get Fresh crew with DJs Chill Will and Barry B, and later added rapper Slick Rick.
I love Slick Rick.
Two of their songs, The Show and Lottie Dottie, are considered early hip-hop classics.
Lottie Dottie, baby.
Lottie Dottie, in particular, is one of the most sampled songs in music history.
Yeah, it slaps, baby. It's nice.
It's so good. And I will say, Dougie Fresh is only 56.
Wow, he was young.
Is still kicking.
Oh, yeah, he's awesome. But he was really young in that movie then.
Yeah, he was very young in that movie.
He was probably 21 or so.
20 or 21, yeah. Devo played the pop group Cube Squared that sings the Swedish hit Baby Doll.
Baby Doll.
Which is one of my favorite sequences in the whole movie. They just had no idea of what was happening.
It was hilarious. And it's just their reactions as he's dumping paint and all sorts of stuff and then lights everything on fire. I mean, it's chaos.
It's like Cusack is just so aware that this is all going to happen.
Yeah.
Just casually grabs a fire hose and sprays him down.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Mofuzz doesn't like the video.
Yeah.
Well,
he loves it.
He uses
Just
the
can't
video.
use it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because it doesn't have production value, which is TNA.
Right. Fishbone played the band Ranchbone. Cusack and Robbins are huge Fishbone fans.
Oh, I love Fishbone.
Ranchbone, the song they played was really good in the movie. The weird country western version of their funk. It was great.
And Fishbone, or Fish, I forget his first name, the guy who founded it.
Yeah.
He's got that awesome blue mohawk.
Yeah.
They're so
good.
Were so good.
They
Party at Ground Zero.
They did all the incidental music as well. So everything that wasn't a song, they did.
I highly recommend Fishbone's debut album if you want to just have a blast. Put it on at your next party. So it's kind of ska. It's just kind of punk.
So much fun.
They're just such a unique band, and they just had a blast. And seeing them in concert was one of the most fun shows I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Well, that's all I got. That's all I got for Tapeheads.
Well, that's good. No more horrible deaths.
Not that I know of.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure there are in this cursed film.
I didn't include all of them.
There's so many. You just picked the top 5.
I picked the weird ones.
Look,
it's just by chance. There were so many weird ones.
Any movie that's going to be over 30 years, you're going to have some deaths.
Yeah.
You're going to have some deaths.
And in particular, this movie, there were just so many people in this movie.
And so many quirky, odd, and wonderful people. If you want to see John Cusack, I'm going to say unlike you've seen him before. He's a little less likable. He's got an incredibly awesome porn pedophile mustache and slick back hair. Tim Robbins is extremely likable as the spoiled little artist. And it's fun to watch, like, especially if you're an arty type.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch these guys. Like, when I was younger, I'm like, yeah, man, I get it. You don't want to do nothing for nobody. You just want to do your own art.
Yeah.
Then you get older and you're like, you got to make money somehow to get your art going. And sometimes you got to do one for them. But
sometimes, yeah.
But it is such a unique movie. It has so many great musical cameos. If you want to see something with a lot of fun music from the 80s.
And it totally holds up. I literally just saw it for the first time. It's, 25, 30 years old, however, but it holds up completely.
All of the things, even though the technology is different than what we use today, we don't use tapes. All of the conceit is the same.
Yeah,
the business hasn't changed at all. It's a bunch of predators going after you, and politics hasn't changed. A bunch of perverts trying to pretend like they're not. So it's like it's got all the universal themes that we know. But it's a great John Cusack, Tim Robbins buddy.
It's so much fun. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
And in it, and I will say, Fishman did not. He only directed 2 other movies after this.
Oh, yeah.
And he did a lot of music videos and stuff still, and in a lot more like live concert things. But he only did 2 other movies. And I will say, this movie is directed way better than I thought it would be.
Sure. A lot of great directors come from the music video.
Sure. David Fincher.
One of our greatest directors ever, Spike Jonze.
And the thing is at this time in 1988, he was one of the first music video directors to make this foray into film like this.
But he was also a music video director that told stories through his videos.
Right.
And these story-driven music video directors become really great directors because you got to tell these tiny little stories.
Yeah.
So then you have more time to tell the stories. You know what you're doing. You know where the camera goes. You know what looks good.
Yeah. There are some fantastic shots in this movie. I loved in the arcade going into the breaking news, and then it's on the breaking news for a bit, and it pulls back, and we're in the studio and we're hanging out. Like it was so clean and just nice. Like it was very good storytelling.
And it's also great the scene where you see our boys. They finally get their big break. And they have no idea what to do. They don't know how to run a crane. They're trying to figure this crap out by themselves. They still don't have a crew or anything.
No.
I mean, anybody who's ever made anything knows how difficult it is to do it on your own.
Yeah.
And this is a really good representation of, 2 scrappy guys trying to create a career and just basically failing upward.
Yeah. They totally well, they took advantage of the time they had.
They failed upward. But it was awesome. It's such a fun movie.
I love the fact that the movie it has a plot, and it could end very badly for them, but it's got a happy ending.
Sort of.
I mean, yes.
I mean, it starts off as a happy ending, but the coda is great. I mean, it's like
yes,
where they end up for the reason why they end up where they end up is awesome.
Oh, the
because
ongoing visual gag of the parking tickets in the car is brilliant.
Oh yeah, and it pays off.
Yeah.
And it pays off. This One Crazy Summer and Better Off Dead fit so well together because they all have that like surrealism. They all have that little bit of magical point of view that we see, and it works. It doesn't take you out of the movie. It adds to the movie, and that's the beauty of these films. Is the craziness makes it better and more believable rather than less and taking you out of it.
I love the random moment where they just turn and talk to the audience.
Yeah,
it was just for like half a sentence, but they turned and did their line and then they moved on. It was just
the
like
swanky modes
on the swanky
modes. Fuzz. I mean,
it's such a good movie.
Watch it. Don't try not to do it on Plex.
Yeah,
you'll just get frustrated.
If you can find it somewhere, like at your library, or you can rent it somewhere.
Look, these movies you can get on DVD, and I say get them on DVD. Mm-hmm. You don't need Blu-ray for these movies. It's better to watch them in their old kind of scratchy format.
Right.
You know, if you can get them on tape, even better. Yeah. But get them on DVD. You can probably pick it up for $2.
Yeah.
You know, and it's worth your collection to have these fun, quirky movies because they're perfect to bring out at parties. They're perfect to put on in the background. Yeah. But the only danger is people are going to be like, well, what's this? And they're going to stop and they're going to want to watch it.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back next week. We've got Hot Pursuit.
Yeah. Hot Pursuit.
Hot Pursuit with another one I've never seen.
Yeah, well, this is a good month for you.
I'm excited. This is great. I love watching the new stuff.
This one's a little bit more mainstream. It's not as quirky as the rest, but it's still got its quirks, and it's still pretty weird.
Excited to do that Hot Pursuit.
Yeah.
He was responsible for the Dream Warriors video from Dawkins for Nightmare on Elm Street 5. Dream Warriors.
Say that again?
Yep. Nope. Keeping it. Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. I don't even remember why we were talking about Gary Oldman.
He was in Sid and Nancy.
Oh. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. Fantasy Island, already in progress.